Live. Thank you guys very much.
Right.
So big moves this week on Robotaxis. Tesla doubled its Austin geofence, 173 square miles, boosted the local fleet 50%, maybe 5 or 6 cars. But it now in Austin, it covers downtown, the airport, and Giga, Texas. And then there's this tease that the FSC is going to launch in Australia this Friday. So what's going to happen now? Where are we going? This is it. We got to talk robotaxis. And then, of course, there was that big debate. It reared its head again. LiDAR. And no, LiDAR is important. Elon contributed to that, made a number of comments. So welcome, Brian. We're co-streaming this on Brian's channel, Futuraza, on Nick Gibbs' channel, Investing Against the Grain. Welcome both.
Great to be here. Oh, my gosh. Yes. And by here, of course, I mean Nepal. For those who didn't catch the news, I am in Nepal, where 76% of new cars are already electric. They are number 2 in the world, behind only Norway in terms of percentage adoption. The market here is pretty small, so it was, I guess, arguably easier to do. But I am getting all kinds of insights on the ground, meeting with all the important people, CEOs, whatnot. And today's after show, you can ask me anything you want about that. It's going to happen, even though it is the middle of the night.
Middle of the midnight. It's called midnight, dude.
It's 11:47 p.m. Yes, the time zone is off by 15 minutes.
And for anyone who doesn't know, Nepal is home of Mount Everest, the world's only non-rectangular flag, and the birthplace of Buddha.
Yes, all true.
Jeez, Nick. Okay. Thank you for that. Smarter than Grok, maybe, but this is the news that came out just yesterday. Tesla Robotaxi themselves announced it. They increased their service area from 91 to 173 square miles. They seem to be doubling since June 22nd. Every 2 or 3 weeks, they would double the square miles. Also increase the number of cars available by 50%. But I don't know, man. People still think that that's not a big deal. Who cares if you still have a safety observer? Who cares if you still have only 15 cars, and it's not that it's nothing at all. This is not robotaxis at all. Nothing's happening at all. What do you guys think?
There's a whole sustainability issue here. When you're moving goalposts this frequently, you need electric motors. It's better for your back. It's better for the environment. Look, we've heard how many times now that this won't happen, whatever it is. FSD will never be approved outside the U.S. Well, Canada's got it. What'd you say? Australia in like a matter of weeks,
Days,
and
tomorrow, 2 days.
Days. Oh yeah, that's this month, and it's being trialed in other countries. This is they'll never have any robotaxi. Well, they do, but now you're pretending they don't. The Cybertruck will never be released. You can't make a car that looks like that. Well, you can't sell it outside the U.S. Guys, just keep moving them goalposts. Nick is in an accumulation phase in his portfolio. He appreciates it.
I do. I'm honestly sitting here. I'm 5 cents away from 2 different tranches of short puts I have on, and we're hovering at this 350, and I'm watching it nonstop, and I'm gonna be pissed off if the day ends and I don't get filled on this order. So if you guys see me keep doing this, because I'm just sitting there like, come on, Phil.
What are you expecting? Tell me your play here. Exactly what you're expecting
For
stock. Yeah.
Oh, well, what I'm talking about as far as my short puts. Oh, I'm trying to pick up another 1,500 shares. So I've had these same puts for a while that just keep rolling up, and just the stock keeps going up. So I'm falling behind it. And so
right you're now, expecting the stock to fall? Yeah.
No, I'm not expecting to fall, but stocks go up and they go down. They go up and they go down. They don't go up in a straight line. So, I can get paid along the way. And so now at this point, I've rolled up so much trying to acquire this 1,500 shares that if I got assigned, my break even is $280. So, so I'm getting paid to wait. So
yeah.
So
it's not bad. Okay. So what is your, are you guys happy to hear that they launched, they expanded another, expansion, but they said here they're only going to double the number of cars, 50%, which is not double, sorry, 50% increase, which is less than 20 cars. Are you guys disappointed in terms of the progress? Or are you guys incredibly excited, or somewhere in between?
I'll go first. I'm excited about the geographical size of the area. Proves to me that it's not a geographical fence, but a logistical fence. They can expand as quickly as they want to, but until they're ready to remove the safety passenger, there's not much point in saturating it. Everyone who's got access to the app knows that this is a test. If wait times are long, deal with it, or just cancel the ride and get a different ride, I guess. But with Waymo's operation, if they keep expanding it, people who want to ride Waymo specifically are going to be deeply annoyed when they have to cancel 9, 10, 20 rides with humans just to get the one ride with the Waymo. It could trash your account. I don't know how much tolerance Waymo Uber has for that sort of behavior. So I think, and the real problem is, if Waymo wants to keep up with the geographical size that Tesla's expanding into, you will discover they have no more cars to deploy and won't until the end of next year, by which time, who knows how big Tesla's area will be. So am I disappointed? No. Of course I'd like more progress. Who wouldn't? But I think the slow and steady approach is reasonable and prudent.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't know how to add to that. I will say I wish it's great that they're expanding the geo and all that, but I'm more curious about where they are. Like, what am I trying to say? The geo expansion is good. That's great. Cool. Happy. But I think a more interesting set of data would be, what are they looking at and what is left for them to do before they can pull the driver out and understand that. Like, will it be FSD 14? Will it be end of the year? Is it going to take another year and a half? Because they also keep hiring more and more, or putting at least job openings out for more and more safety drivers. And I don't know, are those all people who sit in the vehicle, or is that like their command station people eventually?
So I have a thought on that. Because it's only one posting or two postings in each city, I think those are the people who are not safety drivers, but ground truth drivers who are validating the roads with LiDAR prior to a rollout. So I don't think they're looking to add safety drivers, safety observers in every market that they enter, just the ones where it's required, just the ones where it makes sense for the first week or month. Heck, they might even just take the same batch of people and move them around the country for 6 months until the job doesn't exist anymore. Because I don't think they want to hire a ton of people when they know that they're going to be laying them off in a month or 3.
I have a different opinion on all this. I think that theoretically, if they wanted to, they could have removed the safety observer now, but they don't need to, and they don't have to. In fact, I don't think that they will remove that safety observer until the end of this year. There's no rush for them because, yes, there's going to be this, barrage of attacks saying you really don't have a Robotaxi. That's okay. What they want to do is roll out as fast as they can, as geography as they can, even with Uber-like supervised driving. And I think those are the people they're hiring, supervised drivers that's going to open up in all these different cities. It's okay. And even in Austin, they might get, continue to expand the geofence, but have a safety observer there. They can remove it. And I think that they won't have to rush removing it, even if today they could, even if for sure FSD 14 can, when it's 2 or 3 times safer than a human, and certainly when FSD 15 comes. I just think that it's more of a strategic reason why they've not done it. Like, why do it? You just set yourself up. What's the benefit? What's more important for you as a company who already knows for sure that you've got a functional system that could already run true Robotaxi many states? Why do you need to remove it now just for show? There was an article that Brian showed that it's a lot of show for show, but not really nothing there. Which is they're just trying to say we're expanding. Yeah.
Complete that thought though.
Yeah.
Until what? Like because otherwise, if you can go in perpetuity not taking the driver out. So what's your point?
Yeah.
Like, what your point is? Why risk it now until when? What's
until
that?
what? I'm thinking, just it's just a weird thing, but I'm thinking before this end of this year.
But why? I make the same argument that you just used. I apply that right back to you. So why end of this year? Why rush that? For what?
Well, so I don't know. I don't have the answer to that. I personally do not think that the reason why they've not taken a safety observers, because they are seeing too many incidents. That's not the reason. It is mostly what Brian's been saying. It's an operational logistic issue. They're testing to see that they've got the app working. They can expand the number of users. They got the map. They figure out how to drop off and pick up people in the bigger and bigger and bigger areas. You don't need to. That's why they're keeping it down to 20 cars with limited people. They don't need to, because once they decide to do it, they can just do this, and then they can have 1,000 cars. They won't just jump from 10 cars to 1,000 cars. They will still do the 50, 100, and so forth. But they just don't need to. I think it's mostly okay. So the answer to your question is that it is mostly about time, so that the public, the news media people don't jump on you whenever you have so many, an incident that happens. You got to just expand it. So it's been a couple months. Let's say it's now been 6 months. You've been running it. There's only been 1 or 2 incidents. Then you run it. And then you have another. Then you will have an incident with without safety driver. It won't be that big of an impact at that point.
So I think the answer to Nick's question is in what you just said, which is so the question was why not remove them later? And the answer is you can't scale until you remove them. As soon as you can get that person out of the car, you can double the fleet, and double, woohoo, 30, 40 cars. But that is a big deal. And I think the reason they're not removing them yet is they have milestones they want to hit, either internally or maybe other states have requirements that they can satisfy in Texas. Maybe the Texas miles will count towards the California requirements. So it makes sense to leave them in there, racking up miles to unlock those new levels of permission. But you gotta... I agree the name of the game is safety. An abundance of caution is warranted. One mistake, even with no injuries, and I'm confident there would be no injuries, even one mistake can be enough to set the whole program back by years. So best to not give that bad PR opportunity a chance to rise up.
They can expand. Elon already said they're going to have 100 cars in California. Those are most likely FSC supervised driving people, like an Uber-like service. You can hire 100 of them, 200 of them. Why not? That's not the issue. It's accumulate the miles, get used to that location. Time is more important and then at some point just turn it on. And I also agree with you that it's FSC 14. Like if you've got 14 coming, you want to, and that's in testing right now. You don't want to, till it launches, and he's promising that we will get it at the end of the next month. It could be off by a month or two, but as soon as we get it, and it's been well tested, that's the one that they'll use. And if it's true, 2 to 3 times safer than a human, why wouldn't you at that point take out the safety observer? All right.
Well, I don't think you need to kill them, Herbert.
Kill who?
Oh, you said take them out.
Oh, gosh.
Mixed up. Apologies.
Yeah. But I mean, so sort of, the way it looks, right? Prospects wise, I mean, it looks like, this is the map here. In blue is what Waymo's doing. And in purple is what Tesla's doing now. It's double the size of what Waymo's doing. And I showed this slide here to you, Brian, recently. And it shows here is Tesla's Robotaxi versus Waymo service area. And this is how long it took Waymo to actually get to, 750 square miles. Here's where Tesla is already. And yes, it's not, you still have a safety observer or you have a safety driver. So that's true. But still.
saw another version of this by the same author, which included the Zoox service area, which is a low bar, I'm going to say around 30, 40 miles, that just is pretty steady, really doesn't increase. And I frankly didn't bring it up earlier because I'm not sure how much it matters. Zoox is not poised for massive scaling, and I don't believe that those service areas were real anyway, because I don't know how one would get a ride in one necessarily, in the ways that the Teslas and the Waymos are more apparent. So yeah, I do think that showing the big service area is helpful. Is it everything? No, but it's one good metric.
Nick, do you want to
Anybody
talk about Jason Calacanis and you're thinking about that? What did he do?
Oh, yeah. What was that all about? Oh, he just has this thing. He's just convinced that. First of all, I don't care what he says. He's talking his book when it comes to Uber. He has a lot of comments on the All In podcast, which surprisingly don't get any pushback from Chamath or David or Freebird for some reason. I don't know. Maybe I guess I understand Freebird because again, his book is Google and Waymo's part of Google, but just his whole interpretation of deterministic and not deterministic, and the way he talks about it's going to be years essentially before robotaxis can actually be self-reliant, and it's just a little crazy that for someone who is so close to Elon, that he just doesn't seem to understand like how this works and how profound this. I mean, he owns a Tesla. Like I don't know. Maybe we just live in different worlds and he's seen something that we don't see, but it seems pretty obvious to me that Tesla has solved this. Seems pretty clear to me. I think it seems clear to you guys when you guys drive it. And then going into the whole Uber thing, when I'm talking his book, he acts adamant as if Tesla has to partner with Uber or they will inevitably partner with Uber. And I don't know. It's like they sit there and they talk about first principles constantly on that podcast. And then none of them challenge him when he says such a stupid thing. There's no need, and it is stupid. That's all there is to it. It's stupid. There's no need for that'd be like saying Amazon needs a UPS app to ship all their stuff. It's like this is not coherent. Amazon ships their own stuff. Amazon has their own vehicles. They have their own airplanes. They have all the infrastructure. They don't need UPS, right? Tesla does not need Uber for its network. Arguably, Tesla has a bigger network than what Uber has between all the vehicles, all the products, and just the exposure of Elon Musk. Everyone knows who Elon is. Guarantee there's still people who don't know what Uber is out there. So this whole notion that it's a networking thing, this app thing, there's zero value that Uber, I believe, can bring to Tesla. There's none. There's absolutely none. And the last point I'll make on this is that with the CEO, I always forget his name, of Uber. I always want to say I always want to say Dario.
Dara.
Dario's
Shahi.
Anthropic CEO. But with Dara, the reason he's talking about liar the way he is, don't let these people lie to you. They can sit there and they can act all calm and demure and look techie and in a nice office and a podcast and sit there and say to you, Elon may prove me wrong, but I just believe that's the safest things to have LiDAR. And they say the same shit. Oh, sorry. They say the same stuff all the time, every single time. Yet there's been a single person to rebut Elon's point of if we have all this sensor infusion, at the end of the day, when you have a LiDAR versus camera and they disagree, how do you choose which one is right? How do you determine that? And nobody ever has an answer for that. And the truth is, you're going to pick a camera every single time because a camera can see more. It goes back down to first principles. So I'm not saying that LiDAR doesn't have its place or its use case, and maybe there's technically a way where you can infuse it for certain rare instances. But again, I think if it was obvious, people would have made the rebuttal already. But nobody ever refutes Elon talks about it. Go ahead, Brian. Sorry.
So I hadn't thought of it that way, and I think you're right. How do you decide which one is right? If you're going to fall back to vision every time, why do you even have LiDAR? Just
exactly.
to make sure it agrees.
That's the whole point.
That's the whole point. Now, to the point about Uber, let us speculate, Herbert. To the point about Uber is a dead man walking, and they've got to realize it because they cannot compete on price. Uber has infinite middlemen. Waymo wants to get paid. Uber wants to get paid. Whoever actually owns vehicles, probably. I mean, everybody wants to get paid, and Uber's realistically the middleman. You remember all the commercials since forever. We eliminate the middleman and pass the savings on to you. That's what Tesla's doing. So that's step one in Uber being too expensive, no matter how you cut it, slice it. But the second is there is no vehicle currently produced anywhere that will have the cost savings potential of a cybercab. It just doesn't exist. Maybe in China they've got some bespoke vehicles that are purpose-built for just low-speed robotaxi applications, but they won't be coming to the US. They won't be going to a lot of markets. They won't be high-speed vehicles, and they won't be high enough volume to necessarily make the difference. Tesla has a manufacturing advantage, a design advantage, and a distribution advantage that doesn't have a middleman. You cannot compete.
Better said.
So I'm going to play the other side of it just so that we are balanced here. I'm going to play exactly what you said. This is Uber CEO when he was interviewed, and I've got the Waymo the developer who counters the issue of sensor fusion. So let's start with this
wins. Waymo's tech or Tesla's cameras, LiDAR, radar?
I personally believe that autonomous vehicles have to have superhuman levels of safety. I don't think it's good enough for them to be better than humans. They have to be multiple times better than humans, and Waymo's certainly proven that that's possible. So why not take that shot? I think in the near term it's going to be very difficult, and Elon would tell me I'm wrong, and never bet against him. But it's my instinct that in the near term, it's going to be very difficult to build a camera-only product that has superhuman levels of safety. And again, now, at some point, will it be possible? Quite possibly, yes. But if you can have instrumentation that includes cameras and LiDAR, and the cost of LiDAR, solid-state LiDAR now is $400, $500. Why not include LiDAR as well in order to achieve superhuman safety? So possible, yeah, it will be possible. I don't know when, but is the possible the better product? I'm not sure. All of our partners that we're working with now are using a combination of camera, radar, and LiDAR. And, I personally think that's the right solution, but I could be proven wrong.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah, I'll jump in first because why not? I can tell you why not. You could have a drone for $200 that goes and flies and looks around the corner to see if there's any cross traffic. That would add safety, wouldn't it? I mean, it's very complicated and prone to failure, but why not? Because it's a terrible idea. And all these assumptions he's making, I'm sorry, is he a MIT graduate or Caltech? I don't remember where he got his advanced degree in science or engineering or autonomy or computers. Come on. You are grasping at straws, my friend.
I'll add, at no point, I was about to make a funny movie reference.
I know the one.
Okay.
May God have mercy on your soul.
Exactly. We are all now dumber for listening to that. At no point did he ever say why LiDAR creates superhuman. At no point, he said that Waymo has proven it. What is Waymo proven? That it can still get into accidents, it still screws up, still goes down the wrong way on roads, still gets stuck in certain situations, drives into wet cement. I mean, like, what are you talking about? Like, Waymo's proven what exactly? And again, all of our partners are currently using LiDAR. Okay. Why would that be? Is that because they don't have ability to get all the data like Tesla has? Is that because they don't have the ability to build out the supercomputers like Tesla has? They are using crutches. It'd be one thing if you said, hey, we can get all this data just like Tesla. We have it. Hey, we have all the supercomputers and we can train just the way they do. And we still think the LiDAR is necessary because of X, Y, Z. But that's not what they're doing. In fact, the company that has the only company in the world that has the ability to do this can choose to use LiDAR or not use LiDAR. They have all the options at their disposal. They're the only company in the world that has all the options at their disposal, and this is what they're choosing. Don't trust the man that has only one avenue they can travel. Trust the man who can choose any of the options and can pick the best option at their disposal, and they're still choosing to go down this road. I mean, it's very common sense stuff.
Herbert and I discussed the big test, the road test that took place in China, 37 different vehicles, and almost all of them included a variety of sensors, LiDAR, radar, whatever they might be, in addition to vision. And only one car, one brand aced the test, and it was, of course, Tesla, the only one that didn't have the whole battery of sensors. So if LiDAR makes you superhuman, please explain how everyone else, 96% of the entrants, failed while only Tesla succeeded, because it doesn't make sense to me.
You guys explained that very, very well. What about his first comment, though, that he thinks that it's a future? FSD is the future. At some point, yes, neural nets will come in, become safer than the human. Not now. And yet you've got Elon saying it's 2 to 3 times safer than the human next month. Who do you believe?
Well, next month is not now. So, I mean, he's right. It's crazy to fail, for someone like him to fail to understand how quickly technology can move. But here we are.
Yeah, I don't know. Again, he's got the right outfit on. He's in the right office. He's got the nice shaved head, the perfectly trimmed beard. CEO got the shirt rolled up just perfectly. Looks like a tech CEO. Speaks a nice calm voice. Brings you in. Seems like someone you can trust. So that's what he's got going for him. But Elon has reusable rockets, landing them, Starlink, taking on electric vehicle or the auto world, electric vehicles, payment through the internet. I mean, I don't tell you guys. He's doing all the things that are said to be impossible. He may be late, but you should never doubt his engineering acumen, his engineering, not even acumen, that's the wrong word. His foreshadowing, his ability to see 2 steps into the future from an engineering perspective. That you should never doubt when it comes to him, because he's been eerily accurate about what's possible and then going all in on what's possible. Like eerily, like this guy came from the future, kind of eerie.
I've made similar jokes about time travel because he has in the past seen things in the future that no one else saw. The other thing to note, though, is when he's going down a dead end, he is willing to step back and say, no, not this. For example, canceling Dojo. Or, the massive shift in direction on Dojo is one example. Throwing out all that code that they worked to build for FSD and replacing it, that takes courage. Twice. Yes.
Twice they did that.
And how many firsts has SpaceX accomplished? And you can say, well, these are not new ideas. Okay, but where's everybody else? You know how long they've been, you know how many, they've landed, 200 boosters now? And the competition has landed in terms of orbital class. I'm pretty sure the answer remains 0. That's because it's really, really hard. And if you don't want to acknowledge that he's an engineer, that's fine. Don't. but he has a gift for bringing together brilliant people, motivating them and allowing them to rise to their maximum personal potential in ways that other companies are jealous of.
Herbert, you said you had a rebuttal to sensor fusion?
Yeah. Before I get there, though, I think just thinking about FSD, right? One of the things that Dara said is that it's not ready. And then as I think about it personally, I mean, I don't see that FSD is making any mistakes, number one. But number two, if it does make a mistake, it's not because we should have had more, we should have had LiDAR. We should have had more sensors, more sensors, more vision, better vision. It was almost a decision mistake. Meanwhile, like you said, just to point it out, there are a number of LiDAR-based companies that have had accidents. And so if you are saying that it's supposed to be safer because you have this LiDAR that knows if there's something there, and the example was, I think Zoox got it and Waymo had it, where the car's driving and then another car, just a human-driven car, cuts in front. So theoretically, if you have LiDAR, you're supposed to know, hey, that's a physical object. Hey, I caught it with my LiDAR. I'm not going to hit it. But the decision is so slow that it still hit it, right? And that is, it's not because you should have had, like, Tesla's, if they are going to get into an accident, it's not because they should have had LiDAR. It's because you need to train neural nets to learn what to do in whatever scenario that happens. So this Waymo engineer posted this, because the big debate about LiDAR, and recently Elon was saying, and confirmed by his engineers, that the issue is sensor fusion, right? When you have LiDAR, radar, and vision, and you're driving along, and then you need to make a decision. Number one, if something happens, you don't know. Well, if there's a confusion between the two, if LiDAR says something, there's an object there, but the others say it isn't, which one do you believe? And that's the first reason that you have to struggle to figure out what to do. And secondly, because you have to check all three, there's a latency in that decision. It takes a little bit longer. Elon said that's why you don't see Waymos on the highway, because highways is faster and they have to make quicker decisions, but their latency is not quite there. So this Dalen Yang, who's an engineer at Waymo, dropped this video showing that, yes, a Waymo is driving on the highway. It's a rider only at this point. Of course, it's just one car with one employee in it. It's not wide. It's not available out there, but he's basically showing that it is possible that you can get a Waymo driving in the highway and they're not afraid to get there. But this, again, just one car.
This is the rebuttal?
Yeah.
So no,
Yeah.
okay, so no
What?
actual technical rebuttal. Yes.
No,
yeah,
no, I don't think it's about
I could hide all the cameras on my vehicle, right, in my Tesla right now, and only have the forward-facing camera, and it could go on the highway. Probably could go for 100, 150 miles and have no issues. Like,
Yeah.
sure, everyone can have a nice, safe drive. Like, that's fine. The question is, what happens when things get complicated, things get messy?
Yeah.
Right? Like, again, everyone can buy a stock and try to be a day trader, and we're in a bull market, and so you look at genius. It's all going up. What happens when things go down? Do you know how to take your profits? Do you know how to get out? Do you know how to, do you know what you're doing? So it's easy when everything's going right. Like, and that video is old. That's an old video from a while ago. So where's the progress on that?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know.
Oh yeah, if that is an old video, I mean, great. You can
I don't
do
know
it,
if it's an
but
old
you
video. He just
won't?
posted it. He
No,
posted
that
it
video-
like 2 days ago.
That video came out some like 4 or 5 months ago.
Okay.
Well, I can tell you from the look of the iPace dashboard, it might have come out 10 years ago.
I could be wrong. Maybe it was 2 months ago, 3 months ago, but that's not a new video. That's not like Waymo just dropped this as a rebuttal to Elon Musk.
Yeah.
I was wondering if anyone would like to join me in congratulating SpaceX on their amazing progress on yesterday's flight. That was an absolute thing of beauty. When the explosion happened in the engine shroud, I was just sure it was done for. When I saw the flaps burning and coming apart, I was just sure it was done for. And then the Indian Ocean buoy in fine form captured the soft splashdown. They stress tested every aspect and they checked every box. This is happening.
it's a good example actually, because it doesn't show you that this is how Tesla works or Elon works, SpaceX works. You failed, then it works. Why is that? You can say, oh, you failed. You keep failing. Every year, FSD doesn't work as you said it was, and then it works. Why? Because every year that doesn't work, you're learning something, and it's impossible until you're learning something until finally you figure it out. Because this is an impossible thing. This is theoretically impossible, yet Tesla makes it happen. Here we are. FSD is already available. But anyways, that's a great example, isn't it? That, number 10, flawless, works perfectly. Everything went well. So they learned a lot. And regardless of outcome, they were there to learn. That was what they made clear at the very beginning, and that was what they were trying to do. Measure, learn, improve.
But they hit all the mission objectives. They did things on purpose to slightly sabotage. Like they knew they were going to have one engine out on the booster on re-entry or on landing to make sure that if an engine is out, it can still do it. And it did it. Nobody was hurt. No towers were hurt, and it worked. It's just amazing. I would also point out a quick reminder that it is free to hit the thumbs up button on this video to subscribe to not one, but all three of us. This is a co-stream with Nick from Investing Against the Grain, myself, Brian from Futuraza, and I don't know, that guy, that Herbert fella from Brighter. Anybody heard of him? He has a pretty good channel too, I guess. And so, yeah, that's, I'm just really excited. Space gets me excited. The space race, I don't know, it's exciting.
Well, speaking of these spaces, I was listening to Herbert, I think it was you, I don't know, you and I think it was the Cyber Bulls or whatever you guys call it these days. And I heard a lot of people giving you flack for plugging some of your other episodes.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Feel free to plug them because you have so many good things out there right now. So plug all you want with us.
Conversation heads to some topic and they go, actually, we just did a show on that. Yeah. That's great.
That's good. So give people the option to make the choice. And if they don't know, you're just providing information like, hey, if you guys want to know more about this, go down this path. If you don't, no worries. But
all right. So this is, this is happening. Tesla's Robotaxi is happening regardless of what people are saying, whether or not, it still have safety observer. Expansion is happening. Number of cars, smaller than we hoped for, 10 to 20. But I think that there's a real strategy why they're doing what they're doing. And but it's still happening. And I guess the most important thing is FSD 14. Is FSD improving? Is it getting better? And is it getting to the point where you could launch a driverless or a no observer kind of Robotaxi? The answer is yes. It's here. I mean, Elon, if you believe him, 2 to 3 times safer than a human, the next one, and then after that will be 10 times safer than a human. They've got the data. They're already using it. So,
I just realized. Oh, go ahead, Brian.
Sorry. I was just going to say that there was confusion. Some people said, wait, 2 to 3 times safer supervised? No. Supervised is already more than 2 to 3 times safer than a human driving. This clearly must mean unsupervised. Go ahead.
I was just going to say, the end of September is going to be a huge month. Like, we're going to presumably get FSD 14. Then a couple days later, we hit October 2nd, and we get delivery numbers. And then presumably we get a vehicle unveil at some point. I mean, what a hell of a.
And then the annual shareholder meeting. When the annual shareholder meeting, that's when. September, by the way.
September we get. Yeah. September, yeah. I want to say it. No, you go say it.
Okay, good. You say it.
I was going to say September we should get proxies for everything, and we should know what the compensation will be, or the suggested compensation for Elon will be. Or is that what you're going to say? Are we?
Yeah, exactly. No, we were exactly right. Initially, I said it was going to show up in the annual shareholder meeting in November. No, you were going to see the plan. We'll see the information anyways, or some form of it in the proxy already. The other thing too is the where am I going to go with this? Elon, if you followed his post in the last week, he's been dropping big hints that he's what he's going to drop for his master plan for his compensation package, right? I've got a plan. He said, I have a plan for that to solve America's power plant and energy issues. He's talking about big ideas at this point. It's happening, man. 50,000 H100s or something like that. We're shooting for 1 million. He's going to be building these massive data centers.
I like to look at things that are just over the horizon, but what Elon's talking about to me is I can't see it from here. And that's been true of a lot of the things that he's accomplished, that he's set out to do and then done. So my inability to see over the horizon, I don't think is my shortcoming. I think it's just something that I'm honest about. Yeah, I don't know. I have no guess what Master Plan 4 would be, what the comp plan will be. But yeah, I'm here for the ride, baby.
How much, when he does share that, would the stock jump?
That's a Nick question.
Oh, I don't know the answer to that.
I mean, most people say they
still.
do think it is a catalyst because he has been successful before.
Nobody knows anything. The sooner everyone gets on board with that, the sooner that they'll be better investors. That's a fact. It's a fact. You don't know anything. I could tell you right now what the compensation is, and I guarantee you don't know which way to play that. I could tell you what the jobs number are going to be on Friday of this coming up month. You won't know how to play. I can tell you what PCE is going to be this coming up Friday. You won't know what to play. You don't know. You know nothing. The only thing you can know.
Can you still please tell me though? I still want to know.
But Nick is right. I've had people tell me that when we get accurate on production numbers, that we're getting leaks from inside the company, and I say that's not possible because almost all of us show our methodology, and our methodology is all different. And if I had that information, if someone said, Brian, it's going to be exactly this, I wouldn't know what to do with that information, because sometimes very good news, the stock goes down. Sometimes kind of weak news, the stock goes up. That doesn't, help me. That's like, an alien coming back and just kind of suggesting how a future technology works without a plan. Great. What do you want me to do with this information? I haven't heard of any of these components that you want me to put together. So, yeah.
A good example of that is the Q3 volume production numbers, right? Or sorry, delivery numbers. I think most investors are now expecting to be a big Q3 because of the, inventories down. Tesla's saying that we're selling everything, and $7,500 credit's going away. But now the expectation by some people, they're throwing out numbers like 480,000 vehicles sold in Q3, 490. So Nick, you're right. It's like hard to know what to play that anymore because it's already built in. It was already, people are going to be disappointed when it doesn't hit that. If it does hit that, maybe it's already built in. They don't care, right?
Again, I mean, I'm sure there's a lot of people who really think they know what's going to happen. They think they're listening here. I mean, I'm not looking at the comments or anything, but I'm sure a lot of people think I'm the idiot here who doesn't know, but they know and all this. But again, if I put you back in 2022 and 2023, and I told you robotaxis will be live, we'll have a bigger area in Austin than what we have, than what Waymo has. We're going to be getting ready to launch in Australia, New Zealand, and Elon's about to get his next comp package, and the stock is barely at 350. You'd be like, BS, no freaking way.
Yeah.
Right. Some part of that doesn't make sense, especially after how high we got with the Hertz announcement. Every bit of execution was flawless for quite some time. Cybertruck came out a bit later, but even before that, before it was clear when Cybertruck would be released, it was just everything was hitting, and the stock just kept sinking because it did. And that's the way the wind blows, I guess. But yeah. And there are so many people who are still not giving any real consideration. Like, was it Baird, I think? One of the big analysts came out and said, we've looked at Robotaxi, we understand it, we've ridden it, it works, we're neutral. So real neutral. I mean, at least be negative. You're neutral. How do you see that and come away going, meh, I could take it or leave it? I don't know what they do for a living, but I'm pretty sure it's just 3 martini lunches.
Yeah, I'll just say, like, you're either you can be a combination, but if you're going to be a buy and hold investor, then be a buy and hold investor, but don't be a buy and hold investor who's trying to time things at the same time. Because that's like, it's almost an oxymoron. If you're a buy and hold and you're trying to trade, against your account, that's fine. That's what I do. That's fine. But again, don't be trying to time and predict things that are going to happen or movements of what the stock's going to do, because you're going to just lose money. So understand your circle of competency and stick to that. And if you're trying to incorporate time into anything of where a stock price is going to be, you're going to fail, because no one knows that. No one can do that. And none of the best investors or traders out there have ever sat there and tried to say, well, on this date, I think it's going to be this. I'm going to hit it just right.
What do you guys think about
we do see
Joe
people who do that?
Who?
Randy Kirk.
Nope. That's a perfect example of don't try to time.
Yeah.
Love you, Randy, but even you would say that
we do.
Movement.
Yeah, we do love you, Randy. But
so the buy and hold investor, I was talking to Joe Backday, and he had a thesis about, just focus on signal. And what is a signal? He's looking at, of course, everything we are talking about today, right? FSD progress, some metrics that are happening with Robotaxi, take it, right? Expansion, all that. But if you watch what Tesla's doing as a company and where they're investing money, that is signal to him. So if you watch them hiring all these people all over the place for FSD, if you watch them investing in big giant factories and supercomputers, that means that they're really betting big that FSD is going to launch and succeed and so forth. And that gives you just another little metric to show you that this is actually in their minds that it's working. Other people say never trust the company just because they're investing doesn't mean anything. That doesn't mean anything. It's not meaningful. So where do you guys stand on that?
Well, I don't know. Like, I think if people say that, it's also a stupid statement. Don't tell me what not to do without telling me what to do. Just like I just got done saying, don't use timing, and I explained what you should be doing instead. Don't tell me what not to look at, or this isn't valid, whatever. Okay, great. That doesn't help me. Tell me what I should be looking at then. What do you consider signal? So I don't know. Like, for me, when it comes to the stock, I do agree with Joe, right? That's good signal to understand like what the company is doing, but I don't apply that to the stock. If I'm looking at the stock, it's interesting to me that yesterday there's a big $40 million call sweep that came in. Day before that, there's 30 million. The Friday before that, it was something like $60 million call sweep that came in. All these call options at the money, meaning that they were trying to get in there aggressively for Tesla. That's bullish. That tells me something's going on. Some big money is out there and they're piling into Tesla, and they're pretty bullish over the next few months. That's signal for the stock. But again, I'm not making any timing predictions on that. I just understand what momentum is doing. That's very easy. That's very binary. People buying or not buying. Very easy. A chart going up and to the right versus down and to the right. Like, momentum's going up. Okay, I can see it's going in this direction. But timing it, the price, and when, that's a fool's game.
Speaking of fools, I'm going to take my 10-minute break before the after show. I will be back with to answer your questions, address some of the comments that have come in, and if you have questions about what on earth I'm doing in Nepal, it is not climbing the mountain. You can keep it. It's much too large for that. And I will be getting a quick rest and then see you guys afterwards. Nick, a pleasure chatting with you as always. Herbert, I appreciate you, and everybody in the chat. See you in a bit.
Bye, Siddhartha.
All right. So, Nick, you just got done saying signal and noise. So what happened this week that you would consider to be a signal versus just, it's interesting? for Tesla
For the
stock?
company
For
or for the
Tesla,
stock?
I look at, I agree with that. I don't care what happens to the stock in the next 3 months, 6 months. It'd be nice if it went up to all-time highs, but what I'm looking at is whether or not it's going to double or triple next year, 2 years from now.
I mean, so I'll answer your both separately. So as far as the stock, I'll just conclude, seeing all those call options being bought by big money, seeing more and more institutional investors get into the stock, and just understanding the time of year we're in and what that means in general, and understanding what delivery, I can see all that and understand where the momentum's going. And as someone who, I just got done saying, I'm selling a lot of puts, and if you don't understand what that means I'm actually trying to buy 1,500 shares. So I'm selling puts to be paid until it comes down to a price where, we get a little pullback and then I can get assigned the shares. But until then, I'm just selling puts until I can get assigned. And again, this is what, people like Warren Buffett, Ron Barrett, this is how they acquire shares. They don't just go and buy shares. But you can tell that the stock is moving up and to the right, and that we're passing these previous kind of resistance. But I don't know where we're going to go. No one knows where we're going to go. If I had a guess, if you wanted me to put my life on line and guess, I would say that we have a pretty clear potential path to 400 in, by the end of September would be my guess. But I don't know. I have no idea. It's just finger in the air. It's a 50-50 coin flip. As far as the stock, or as far as the company goes, I think if FSD 14 wasn't coming out at the end of September and we didn't have any of that news about 14 and all we knew is the current rollout, I'd be a little worried because it seemed like it's going pretty slow. We're not hearing a lot about them. They're not expanding the users of it. Sure, they expand the geo area, but even then, a lot of that is the airport and near the Tesla factory, which is not a lot of drivable roads. So, it's double Waymo, but let's also keep our pragmatic hats on and understand that a lot of that is 3 roads, so it's not like it's, I imagine most of you have been out to Giga, Texas. You're in the middle of nowhere and there's a couple main roads, they're not crazy. So yes, they expanded. That's great. And I think I think that expansion was for the shareholder meetings. I think that's you don't have to be really putting yourself out there to make that connection. But nevertheless, understanding 14 that does exist and that is coming at the end of September, I really feel like that's kind of there's a lot of gravitational pull towards that release. And I think internally, they're almost, I don't have a better way of phrasing this, but I almost feel like right now they're just treading water until 14 is ready. And so they're just doing everything they can until 14 arrives. So they're just, let's expand where we can. Let's try new test points and drop offs. So let's work on how do we switch from one schedule to the next, when we're rotating, people who are, in the command center to take, let's work on all these little things. Oh, maybe we can pull up right where they're at in their phone to locate, all those little things. I feel like they're just treading water, trying to find something to be useful until 14 comes out. That's kind of what it feels like to me, because once 14 comes out, I think that's essentially the new branch that they'll be like, okay, well, this is the branch where we're going to be on for the next, 12 to 18 months. And so now we can roll out more, we can expand, we can add more vehicles. Maybe we even start thinking about taking, I think that's it. Isn't that how it feels like to you? That's kind of what's happening. So,
yeah. All the work right now is testing and validating FSD 14. They're doing that right now. And so, the Robotaxi, it's you're not going to expand that. You're not going to increase that until you got the better software. And they're pretty confident about it. That's the key thing, right? Is FSD 14 that much better? And they use a lot more compute to get there, 10 times parameters. That's the part that, okay, if that's true, again, Elon said this, right? That we're using the 10 times parameter. That's more than the 3-4 times that we've been waiting for so long. That means that they really went big on this one. They took longer to get here. So hopefully that means that it's that much better. And we'll find out next month. But even I'm comforted by the fact that my own experience with my FSD on my Hardware 4 M3 has been flawless. Now, flawless for 6 months. And then I had 2 interventions when they had an update. Then I realized, guess what happened? Same thing. After one intervention, I found out that there was a pop-up that said I have to clean the camera in the front. So I cleaned it up, and then I have not had and then after that too, I just had another 55-minute update too. And then it's been flawless again so far. So we'll see what happens the next several weeks here to really see whether or not this is that. But it's been like fantastic. So, it's not good enough yet to be truly Robotaxi at this point with the FSE 13 that I'm using. But I believe that this shows me that FSE 14 could be that jump that gets us to already ready for Robotaxi. And if not, then FSE 15 will certainly get us there. So I don't know when FSE 15 might come, but we're about 6 months to a year away from actually having technology that works, like 100% better, like that much better. Like and that what we're talking about isn't just can I launch it in where Waymo's at. We're talking about can this be launched everywhere, anywhere, and this really changes the roads quickly. Like all regulators will just adopt it very quickly because it is that much better, proven already, and that's where I think we're headed. I'm pretty confident about that right now.
So, well, I guess we're probably at time.
Yeah. I mean, I am. So I asked you the question, which is the signal this week, and your answer was exactly mine, which is progress with FSA 14 is the biggest signal. Whether or not that is what we're watching here, these things that expanded it 50%, all that, that's great. Australia is just another little nugget to show you that if it launches in Australia on Friday, first time it's rear-wheel drive, right-hand drive, and but it just shows you again that this technology can be dropped in any state, any country, any kind of condition, and it works. Supervised, but it just shows you that the friggin' thing works and it's learning, and then that's the key thing. So that's what you're watching for, right? Can it work in all these countries? I wish that we could see actual approval of Robotaxi in another country, but again, it doesn't matter. What matters is let's see them take this and get it really, really working. Any other news that you saw that we thought was important?
Not really. I mean, honestly, the only people talk about signal. You know what signal to me is? Whenever I see more of the Uber CEO, I hear more and more of this LiDAR talk. Like when I see all this. When I see Waymo trying to all of a sudden try to expand as fast as they ever have, it's
competition. Yeah.
Well, it just tells me that there's fear out there. Yeah. Like it's they're the kids that are sitting there just like sprinting as fast as they can, and then the evil villain in the movie is just walking, and somehow they're catching up faster and faster. And they're just walking, everyone else is running. And it's like, how does he keep moving? How's he moving so fast? And that's what it feels like. And we know how those movies end.
Well, we'll find out how this movie ends. Thank you so much, Nick. Appreciate you. Stay online and you'll get transferred immediately to Brian's FAQ question show. Talk to you soon.
All right.